Hi, my name is Derek Silverman. I am a front-end engineer and designer on Crowdtangle, which was acquired by Facebook in late 2016. This is going to be a talk mostly focusing on the API, but I also understand there's probably a lot of people in the room who don't know what Crowdtangle is, so we'll do an overview ahead of that. So yeah, we'll do an overview, we'll look at the API, and then look at some really cool projects that got done at the Facebook Journalism Project hackathons in a few different countries earlier this year. I was going to do this all in Spanish, but my coworker based in Argentina said that was a terrible idea, and she said absolutely no. Yeah, we'll see. I might try a few points. All right, here we go. So, yes, Crowdtangle. Yes, so it's really hard to see everyone in this room. It's very dark. Raise your hand if you know what Crowdtangle is or have heard of it. All right, I see my coworkers, and I see a few other people. So we'll dive into it really quickly. So Crowdtangle is a social analytics and content discovery platform for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. Journalists use it to find stories and to compare themselves to their competitors, and then also to see who's sharing their stories on the social web. So we'll dive into those three use cases, and everything here sort of connects to the API. You have to do a lot of the work in the dashboards to set up your API for external use. So here's an example of a dashboard. I set it up it's a media party dashboard, threw in some Argentinian lists, so the Chamber of Deputies, some news publishers, the Senate, I think it's a little old, and then some Senate candidates. So this is an example of, we're looking at a dashboard where we have 11 Facebook pages in the Argentinian news list. It's really important. You have to create lists. You have to organize your pages. That's what helps makes the API easy to use and useful. So we have La Nación. This is their most recent post. Of all the 11 pages in this list, this is their most recent post. You can see the interactions. So same way you do this for news, you could do it for the Chamber of Deputies or the Senate. We have over 1 million pages in our system. Every verified page, every page over 100,000 page likes, or any page you want to add to the system. They have to be public pages, and hopefully we'll get some public profiles in the system soon. So the really magic part of our system is our benchmarks. So now we're looking at that same set of 11 pages, but we're filtering it for overperforming. Last 7 days, all posts. You could look at links, videos, photos, but we're looking at all posts, and this happens to be a post from Todo Noticias, and it's performing 77 times better than an average post from TN would normally perform. So it has 77,000 more interactions or reactions, almost 7,500 more comments, and so this post is doing amazing. And so you can apply that overperforming to the all 1 million pages. You could apply it to 2,000 local publishers in Brazil. You could apply it to really anything. And that really is one of the secret parts of our tools, that it helps surface the best performing content. Yes, it could be clickbaity. It also could be many other things. So just looking at a set of local news stories from Argentina that are overperforming. This is a video. We also show a breakdown of the video views, how many came from shares versus actually on that post. Here's an example from Los Andreas Dario that's overperforming, as well as Santa Fe. So again, we can look at the biggest pages on the internet or on Facebook, and it's always going to be TN or El Nación. But by applying overperforming, you can find great content with much smaller audiences. So similar to just organizing content via lists, You can then also do searches. I heard right when I arrived, I actually came from Bogota, and my friend was like, "You're gonna go to Argentina, and they're gonna talk about Maradona." And I was like, I don't think so. And then I show up, and sure enough, he has an Instagram account now, and it's all the rage. And so, yeah, so this is a search for Maradona and Instagram. It's hidden behind the advanced features. So you can search any keyword and find the content that's overperforming, just getting the most interactions, potentially getting the most angries or the most ha-has. You can filter by those reactions, or video views. There's a bunch of different ways you can apply filters. So yeah, that's search. The other thing, main use case, is competitive benchmarks. How's my publication stacking up to my competition on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter? Reddit, obviously, can't do that on Reddit, but we also work with Reddit. So this is an example of the senators, Argentinian senators, and who's getting, it's really hard to see, but it's essentially filtered by total interactions or sorted. But you can sort by videos, by page size, etc. I think this one's a little bit better. So I pulled up some big publishers in Argentina, where you can see this is a leaderboard. So right now we're sorted by total interactions, but we could be sorted by views or average posts per day. Sure enough, Todo Noticias is posting over 100 times a day, which compared to its competitors is, I guess, in second place. But there's a lot of different ways you can look at this data to inform your work. Our goal at Crowdtangle is to make social data easy to use and make it, package it so you can make sense of it, and infer and inform your work. Similar idea, it's just kind of a different surface. Here I pulled up Leo Messi and Neymar on Facebook. I think I had an Instagram one too, and who's getting the most interactions on their owned content, and sure enough, it's Leo Messi. So I guess everyone's happy, I don't know. So that's another example. This is called Intelligence. This is a new product we have. You can compare up to 10 pages or accounts to see who over time, so it's looking at the long-term trends of a post or of a page and see how their interactions are holding up. This in some ways is a good way to check. A lot of times people ask Facebook, why are our referrals down? Is it us? Is it the algorithm? Or the news feed? This is a easy way to check yourself to see if it's you, if it's your whole competitive set, and then maybe check your post mix. Maybe there's everyone else is posting video and you're not. Either way, it's a good way to check on the yeah. All right, moving on. Yeah. Stand over here? Okay. I was trying to move more. I was told that was a good thing, but not here. I'll move with my hands. Great. Another surface is our Chrome extension. This is basically, you can download the Chrome extension. This is available to anyone. You don't have to be a journalist. You can just go to the Google extension store and download it. And you can check the social shares and referrals on any article. So this is a La Nation piece, did amazing. This is showing all the interactions on their posts and posts from some politicians, etc. There's 21 posts. It's really fun to look at stories about the media because this number will be 800 because it'll just be Twitter people just going crazy, writing about, if there's a story about Mike.com or the New York Times. But this is a really helpful tool to see, we're getting a huge bump on Facebook. Where is it coming from? It's not coming from our own pages. There's been people who are sharing it that have huge follower bases. Great. And this is our live display that sort of brings everything together. A leaderboard you see here. This is a keyword search, that's Instagram and Facebook. Same thing, I'm not gonna go over there, I'm gonna look here. This is looking at election keywords, the economy, and corruption. So sorted by most recent in one example. These are the most hot articles about that. And so this can be we built some live displays for Irma over the last 2 weeks. that were really, we got a lot of positive feedback from newsrooms and FEMA that it was helpful in surfacing stories and content and staying up to date as much as possible. This also works for Facebook groups, which is often a very powerful, there's a lot of great content and people and sharing in groups, and with hurricanes or disasters, often groups form out of nowhere that are support groups, people are sharing information, and that's where a lot of the, we were able to surface stuff that FEMA didn't know about, and news organizations could write about and share with their constituents and their audience. Great. So this is a developer conference, so that was the front end, and this is going into the API. So pretty much everything you just saw can be accessed via API. We have a GitHub page where you can access all the documentation. You do need a dashboard, but if anyone wants to play with the API, A, there'll be a workshop later, and 2, I will just give them access at the conference. And yeah, so everything is backed by the dashboard. So if you want to build a list around Argentinian politicians, that might already be pre-built, or you can build it yourself and just search within that list. Or if you want to build a list around, all the soccer teams around the world, you build that list, that probably exists in our Explore section, and you can just do search or get posts from those lists. So, again, one thing that's important, we are owned by Facebook, but we still work across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. Reddit obviously is a little different beast, but we, especially for Chrome extension and for seeing where shares are coming from, often Reddit or subreddits can be huge drivers of content or traffic. So yes, we have 4 endpoints: the post endpoint, post search, leaderboards, and links. That all kind of maps back to everything we saw before, which was, I want to get all the posts that are overperforming for the last 6 months from a collection of Argentinian publishers. We can spit that out to you via API. This is just an example of the post endpoint, what it would look like if you were to make a call. Again, get total interactions 1 week, give me 10 posts, only links that have the most angries. So I want the most angry content coming out of the Senate here, that's eliciting the most angry reactions. It's just like one example. I don't know if that's a good one, but it is. That's what I got. This is the JSON. We've probably all seen that before. Yeah, and then so that's the API, and so I thought it would really be helpful to show off some cool projects that were built at the Facebook Journalism Project hackathons over the last year. We've been to New York, Hamburg, Paris, and London, and there's an upcoming hackathon in Sao Paulo. So yeah, I'm going to show off some cool projects. Let's check the time here. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes, so this is the flip side. This project actually it was very different at the hackathon, and then this is what it became when it went home to the Huffington Post. But the team that built this was a collection of engineers, designers from the Huffington Post, Bloomberg, and Refinery 29. And basically what they did was they used the Crowdtangle API to pull posts related to Russia. They have 3 topic examples here: immigration, climate change, and Russia. They pulled all the posts coming from a set of 12 or 15 publishers. They then mapped that against a study from Oxford around the partisanship of, I think, 200 or 300 publishers, but I think they just picked a smaller set for this example, and then essentially put this on this matrix. So every publisher had a partisan score, and that's where it ended on this matrix, right? So it's from untrustworthy to trustworthy, conservative to liberal. Obviously, there's a huge cluster at the top, and then we have Daily Kos and Breitbart News as outliers. Again, this was just their project, and thought it was really cool, and it was the winner of the New York Hackathon. Paris Hackathon they went in a different approach, and they built a, does this work? Does this play? Oh, doesn't play? Uh-oh. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to speak over this. The guy has a very heavy French accent, so I'm just going to translate that. But basically, they built a messenger bot that was powered by our API to surface essentially the stories, the most trending stories based off a topic. So in the end, a very similar use case, just a different surface. So here you say, what am I interested in? US or Canada news or French news. Click it, and then it would show you the most trending stories based off our API, or you could search a topic. You could search for the election, or a soccer team, or anything, and it would surface the best story on that content. Boom, here comes the story. Oh no, he asked another question. There it is. So it's about Mitch McConnell. Saying something awesome, I'm sure. And yeah, but I won't editorialize, and I will move on. But I think you saw the example, and that was just an interesting combination of our API and messenger bots to bring stories into that platform. And this is the Hamburg Hackathon winner, which I think is a really elegantly simple solution or idea, and this is what our workshop is going to be a tutorial of. We're going to kind of go through the build of this as an easy example of how using our API, but at the same time, I'm open to working on anything with the API during the workshop. Whoa. Great. So that was done by Funk Digital, or Berliner Morgenpost was the actual team. And yeah, that is, I think that was pretty self-explanatory. But moving on. Yeah, lastly, this is an official integration we have with our API with ChartBeat. I'm sure a lot of you guys have used ChartBeat before or use it now. This is something that is, if you click all the way into an article within ChartBeat, you should see what they call Offbeat Social, which is powered by us, which basically is that Chrome extension, just embedded within ChartBeat. So yeah, that's an official integration that we support. We don't work with many third-party tools, but this is an example of one. And again, we're doing our best. Having joined Facebook, before then, we were mostly focused on the US. We had clients in Europe, but we were only a team of 12, and we still are. And joining Facebook allowed us to really work with organizations around the world, and have the support of Facebook partner managers in all these countries. Julieta being our partner here. And so, we're constantly trying to build lists and have better coverage. So if you guys have lists of anything under the sun that's Argentinian, that is on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, please find me and I'll put it in our system. Yeah, so here's the sales pitch for our workshop tomorrow. It's at 9 a.m. Again, it'll be a design build where we will go through the process of building the trending widget for your publisher, or really whatever you want to build. We'll set up the API, and then it would be cool to see different designs or different riffs on that concept, but that would be the overarching theme of the workshop. And then also just if you have any ideas around building features or products at or integrations into your CMS, happy to talk through it and see if we can get some of that done tomorrow. Also going to pitch, my coworker Diego is giving a workshop today on instant articles at 3 p.m. His talk is tomorrow, but the workshop is today, so here I am. And then also, Sao Paulo, there is another hackathon, and please find any of us if you are interested in going. And that's it. Thank you.